I'll say one thing, Universal really loves their vampire movies. Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon reviewing Abigail 4DX. What's it about? Pretty simple premise. A ballerina vampire who is going to kill these people one by one in this house. Will any of them survive? Will any of them turn into a vampire? Who is she actually? Who are these 5 or 6 people actually? Who is the father of the girl? How old is this girl? You will figure that out soon enough if you decide to watch this movie. Alright, when we talk about the 4DX, I was pleasantly surprised with this film. I won't lie, when watching the trailer, you're trying to think, where's this 3DX or 4DX going to show up? What events? What type of 4DX? Don't expect wind or bonkersness like that. Expect a lot of mist and water that portrays blood, because there's a lot of blood effect in this movie. I'd say the last 30 minutes, a lot of blood. So if you want to be a little bit wet or have a nice little breeze on a nice, cool, hot day, then Abigail might work for you. For the seat movements, pretty good overall. Kind of like Trolls, if there's a dancing scene in these movies, the chairs are going to move just like the dancers. So expect a lot of that when she is actually doing the ballerina moves. Also, when the fight sequences are going on, pretty good. There are a lot of people getting thrown around left and right, a lot of explosions, and a lot of janky-ish movements. Okay, a lot might be a little bit overblown, but overall, it's not a bad 4DX experience. I was pleasantly surprised. Like, comparing this to the last one I saw, Civil War, this one was a lot more interactive with the audience. And so, like I said in the beginning, Universal and the vampire movies, it feels like that's all they're making now for Monster. You have this, you have Renfield, you have The Last Voyage of the Demeanor. So you literally have 3 vampire movies in the past year, because Renfield did come out in April last year. And then Demeanor was in August, and now we are back in April. And all of them haven't done the greatest in the box office. I think Renfield probably had the biggest budget. It opened for $8 million. Last Voyage, I think they had a 30-esque million. That one is $6 million. This one, people are expecting 12 to 15 million. Some people are going high as 15 and 20 million. I disagree, but we're talking about the movie itself, and it is a fun little time. But don't expect any twists and turns that you haven't seen in any other movie, or any oh shit moments. I did notice, if you ever seen Ready or Not, let's see if I have the movie right here, Ready or Not. I'm pretty sure I own it. Anyway, it is the same directors of that movie. And if you have seen Ready or Not, there's a crazy gore explosion scene at the very end of the movie. The movie does it with this as well, with a lot of gore going anywhere. And I'll just say one thing, a body doesn't hold that much blood. But, some people eat their own. It doesn't really matter. But it is a fun little movie where it is an hour and 45 minutes. I'll say the first hour and 15 minutes, you're trying to get to know these characters. And it is funny. It does speed along. So you're thinking like, wait a minute, the last action's not for the last 30 minutes. True, but there's nothing wrong with the pacing that gets us to that mark. Because, of course, before getting there, there are a couple kills here and there, but it's nothing like, oh, shit, kebab. Some decapitations here and there, some scratches around the face. Sure, why not? When coming to the actual editing, the technical craft of this, it works. Editing is good. You can tell where everything is happening. There's no jump cuts for the action set pieces. That's really good. The gore, practical. I really enjoyed that. These are the same directors, like I said, of Ready or Not, as well as, I think, one of the Scream movies, and the same girl that was fired for saying the whole Palestine-Israel thing. Overall, I'm not going to get into politics for that whatsoever, because, yeah, all I'll say is, if you are for Hamas, fucking no. That's all I can say about that. So, then talking about this movie, I know for a fact she got fired from Scream 7 or 8 or whatever, but it needs a new area, because the last 2 Screams I did not like whatsoever. People get stabbed 1,700 times, and they're just like diddly-daddling through the fucking woods. It's like, that's not how it works when you get stabbed that many times. Anyway, when it comes to this movie, it's brighter than the Scream movies. It's funnier than the Scream movies. And I think I had better time with this. But like I said, the writing, yes, it might be a little bit different with this kid. Okay, maybe it's not a little bit different because every time there's a kid monster, it's always a little girl. It's never a little boy. So I wonder why that trope has never stayed the same. Maybe they're just sexist. I don't know. Just joking there as well. But seriously, I was a little disappointed with the writing for some of the characters gone because it could have gone somewhere different where, some of these characters, who they are and what they could become, but it never goes that route. It goes the same. If you're a shitbag, you're a shitbag. If you're a shitbag, you're a shitbag. You're going to have a character arc that becomes a little bit better. You're going to have a little bit of a character arc. And I would say what also doesn't help is the trailers. If you just pay attention to the trailer, especially with one of the other random girls dancing, you know what something's going to happen to her. And I think that's the biggest issue is when I saw this trailer, I knew for a fact who was going to die and who wasn't. And even watching this movie, you're like, dead, 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 dead. You don't have a chance. You're going to last to the very end. You barely have a chance, and it's very simplistic like that. Like, the Angus Cloud character. Come on. Watch the trailer. Watch his attitude. Watch the acting. He's literally the stoner. Come on now. How far do the stoners actually make it in horror movies? Hint, hint, hint. And apparently he passed away because of, drug overdose. And it's another hot take. If you're doing illegal drugs, heroin, cocaine, whatever, fentanyl, and it will fuck your body up and you have a chance of dying, I don't believe in accidental overdoses because you're already overdosed on something you shouldn't even be taking in the first place. So it's not an accident that you took these pills, you shot yourself up, you put stuff up your nose. Anyway, I'm going really awkward with this review, but Abigail 4DX, if you want a fun little vampire girl movie, this is right up your alley. But the question is how many people are going to grab at this, because I remember watching the trailer a lot of fucking times in this movie, and a lot of people are like, nah fam, nah fam, nah fam. And I would say in this 4DX screening, there was maybe 10-ish people. There was a dude in front of me who was bored out of his mind. He'd be like, oh, like real exaggeration. So you're like, dude, be a little bit considerate. But I do think it's a fun enough time. Good gore at the very end. Shenanigans ensues, but just don't expect the twists and turns or just the go get 'em attitude where you expect some characters to have a little bit of a character arc change, but no character arcs in this film. So Abigail will receive a 3.5 out of 5 with Futons, which equals at 70%. So see the critics and user scores gave this one. Okay, I don't like this new critic consensus of what Rotten Tomato looks like. Anyway, we have an 85% with 72 critics. Critic consensus. Carrying off well-worn vampire tropes with a ballistic flourish, Abigail dances around the familiarity of its premise with game, cast, and slick style. The tropes, they're there. I know it trying to make fun of the garlic, it makes fun of the cross thing. Sure, I think that's a little interesting. But I just wish there was a little bit more oomph with some of these characters overall. If that's having the biggest weakness. Anyway, 70-85. Chase like here at the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know everything's Bluetoontopia. You Bluetoners, thank you. Watch a great day. I don't care what you say tomorrow, a week from now, a month, or a year from now, every single freaking one of you. And if you made it to this end, thank you. And I am sorry for rambling about random shit.